The deep hum of the UNS Mercy's Light's quantum engines resonated through its pristine white corridors as Dr. Sarah Chen finished her rounds in the xenobiology ward. The massive hospital ship, Earth's crowning achievement in medical technology, drifted through the stars like a beacon of hope. Its 20 decks housed medical facilities that could treat virtually any known species in the galaxy, from methane-breathing Krovians to the crystalline Tarxi. Dr. Chen paused at the observation window, watching the distant stars shimmer against the void. After 15 years of service on various medical vessels, she still found peace in these quiet moments. The Mercy's Light represented everything humanity stood for: innovation, compassion, and the determination to help others regardless of their origin. Dr. Chen to Emergency Bay 3, the ship's AI announced, its voice calm but urgent. Incoming critical patients from the Centauri mining accident. She was already moving, her neural implant connecting with the ship's systems to receive preliminary patient data. The mining accident had affected multiple species, making it exactly the kind of complex challenge the Mercy's Light was designed to handle. As she rushed through the corridors, medical drones glided silently alongside her, carrying supplies and diagnostic equipment. The emergency bay doors parted to reveal organized chaos. A dozen patients were being transferred from a rescue shuttle. 3 humans, 4 Krovians, and 5 Deltan miners. Chief Medical Officer David Santos was already there, his dark features concentrated as he coordinated the triage efforts. "Sarah, take the Deltans," he ordered. "Their crystalline matrix is destabilizing. Bay 7 has the specialized equipment." She nodded, directing her team to move the Deltan miners. Their silicon-based biology required unique treatment protocols that few facilities in the galaxy could provide. The Mercy's Light was one of them. The ship shuddered. At first, Dr. Chen thought it was a power fluctuation, common when running multiple high-energy medical devices. But then the lights flickered, and the ambient hum of the engines changed pitch. "Unknown vessels approaching," the ship's AI announced. No response to identification requests. Chief Santos looked up from his patient, his expression grim. "Military vessels. Configuration unknown. Energy signatures do not match any registered vessels in the database." Another shudder, stronger this time. Dr. Chen steadied herself against a medical console, her mind racing. The Mercy's Light was a hospital ship, protected by every major galactic treaty. Its hull was painted with the universal medical insignia, visible from any approach vector. No one would dare. The first blast hit with devastating precision. Alarms screamed through the ship as emergency force fields snapped into place. Dr. Chen's neural implant flooded her consciousness with damage reports: hull breach on Deck 12, medical containment systems failing in sectors 7 through 9. Primary power grid destabilizing. "This is Captain Elena Martinez," a voice cut through the chaos. "All personnel, initiate emergency protocols. This is not a drill. We are under attack by unknown hostile forces. All patients to be moved to emergency evacuation pods immediately." Dr. Chen's training took over. "Team 2, begin patient transfer. Priority on life support cases." She turned to the Deltan miners, their crystalline bodies pulsing with weakening light. Moving them would be dangerous, but leaving them would be fatal. Another blast rocked the ship. Through the emergency bay's viewport, she caught glimpses of their attackers, sleek, dark vessels that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They moved with precise coordination, targeting the ship's critical systems with surgical accuracy. "Multiple hull breaches," the AI reported. "Medical containment failing in sectors 3 through 6. Emergency force fields at 60% and falling." Chief Santos was already implementing their worst-case protocols, his hands flying over the control panels. "Begin emergency data transmission. All research data, all patient records. Everything goes to Earth Command now." Dr. Chen understood the implications. The Mercy's Light carried more than patients. It housed decades of medical research, breakthrough treatments, and data on thousands of species. if they were being specifically targeted. "Sarah," Santos called out, "get those patients to the evacuation pods. We'll hold the force fields as long as we can." She moved quickly, directing her team while helping transfer the critically wounded Deltans. Each movement had to be precise. Too rough, and their crystalline bodies might shatter. Too slow, and they'd all die here. Through it all, her mind raced with questions. Who would attack a hospital ship? Why target a vessel dedicated to saving lives? The precision of the attack suggested this was no random act of piracy. The ship groaned, its superstructure straining against forces it was never designed to withstand. Emergency lighting cast everything in a red glow as more systems failed. "Hull breach on Deck 5. The AI announced. "Emergency containment failing. All personnel evacuate immediately." Dr. Chen looked at her patients. 3 Deltans still needed transfer, their bodies growing dimmer by the second. The evacuation pod could hold 2 safely. She made her decision instantly. "Lock onto my neural signature," she commanded the pod systems. "I'm staying to maintain life support for the 3rd patient." "Sarah." "No," Santos called out. "There's no time." "There's always time to save a life," she replied, helping secure the 2 Deltans into the pod. "That's what we swore to do." The ship shuddered again, more violently this time. Through the viewport, she watched as more dark ships emerged from what appeared to be tiers in space itself, their weapons charged with an ominous purple glow. As the evacuation pod launched with her patients, Dr. Sarah Chen turned to the remaining Deltan, whose crystalline form flickered weakly. She began the emergency life support procedures, knowing that her chances of survival were diminishing by the second. "Earth Command, this is UNS Mercy's Light." Captain Martinez's voice echoed through the failing systems. "We are under attack by unknown forces. Multiple casualties. Critical research data has been transmitted." They knew exactly where to hit us. This was no random attack. This was. The transmission cut off as another blast struck the ship. Dr. Chen continued her work, focused entirely on keeping her patient alive. If these were to be her final moments, she would spend them doing what she had sworn to do, preserving life. The last thing she saw before the emergency containment field failed was a brilliant flash of purple energy, and her final thought was a hope that the transmitted data would help Earth understand why anyone would target a ship dedicated to healing. In the void of space, escape pods scattered like seeds in the wind, carrying survivors and vital information that would soon ignite humanity's response to this unprecedented attack. The UNS Mercy's Light, pride of Earth's medical fleet, broke apart in silence, its destruction witnessed by the cold, distant stars it had traveled so far to reach. Admiral James Harper stood in Earth Command's holographic war room, his weathered face illuminated by the 3-dimensional display of the Mercy's Light's final moments. The massive underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains hummed with activity as analysts processed the flood of data from the hospital ship's last transmission. "Play it again," he ordered, his voice tight with controlled anger. The AI complied, and once more he watched the dark ships emerge from what appeared to be tiers in spacetime itself. Their attack pattern was precise, methodical, not the work of pirates or random aggressors. "Sir," Commander Lisa Wong approached, her uniform bearing the insignia of Earth's Intelligence Division. "We've completed the initial analysis of the transmitted data. You need to see this." The holographic display shifted, showing complex molecular structures and medical research data. The Mercy's Light wasn't just treating patients, Wong explained. They had made a breakthrough in universal cellular regeneration, technology that could work on any species. Harper's eyes narrowed. How significant? Revolutionary. It would have changed everything. No more organ shortages, near-instant healing of battle wounds, possibly even life extension. Dr. Chen's team was 3 months away from publishing their findings. The Admiral's jaw tightened. Now it made sense. They weren't attacking a hospital ship. They were trying to prevent us from changing the balance of power in the galaxy. The war room's doors slid open as Secretary General Maria Santos entered, her presence commanding immediate attention. The sister of Chief Medical Officer David Santos, one of the countless lives lost on the Mercy's light, she carried both personal grief and the weight of humanity's response on her shoulders. "Admiral," she acknowledged, "what are our options?" Harper gestured to the tactical display. The attack vessels used some form of space-folding technology we've never seen before, but their energy signatures left traces. We can track them. The Galactic Council is convening an emergency session, Santos informed them. They're claiming it was pirates, despite all evidence to the contrary. Of course they are. Harper's voice was cold, because the truth would force them to act. Commander Wong, show them what we found in the attack pattern analysis. The display changed again, showing the precise movements of the attacking vessels. These weren't random strikes, Wong explained. They targeted specific sections of the ship, research labs, data storage, and critical medical facilities. They knew exactly where everything was. Which means they had inside information, Santos concluded. Someone on the council leaked the Mercy's light's layout and research data. Harper nodded grimly. The question is, who? And more importantly, what are we going to do about it? The answer came from an unexpected source. Dr. Sarah Chen's voice filled the room, transmitted from a medical facility in lunar orbit where she and other survivors were recovering. We do what humanity has always done. We adapt, we overcome, and we make damn sure this never happens again. The survivors' accounts had been pouring in, each one adding to the picture of a calculated attack on a vessel dedicated to saving lives. The Galactic Council might try to sweep this under the rug, but humanity had other plans. Project Safeguard, Harper said, activating a secure holographic interface. It's time. The display showed massive shipyards in Earth orbit, previously hidden from general observation. Ships unlike anything the galaxy had seen before took shape, vessels that combined medical facilities with defensive capabilities that would make any attacker think twice. The next generation of hospital ships, he explained. But this time, they'll be able to defend themselves. And more importantly, they'll be the core of our new defensive strategy. Secretary General Santos studied the designs. The Council won't like this. The Council lost their right to object when they failed to protect a vessel operating under their own treaties, Harper replied. Commander Wong, initiate Phase 1. Across Earth's sphere of influence, hidden facilities began powering up. Quantum computers processed the attack data, developing new defensive systems. Shipyards that had been preparing for this possibility for years began full production. What about the survivors? Santos asked, thinking of her brother's colleagues. They'll be the core of our new program, Harper explained. Dr. Chen's research didn't die with the attack. Every surviving medical officer, every piece of data they transmitted, it's all part of humanity's response. A holographic display shifted to show the galaxy at large, with Earth's influence highlighted in blue. We're not just building ships, Harper continued. We're creating a new paradigm. Every hospital ship will be a fortress of healing. Every medical mission will be protected by technology that will make our attackers' space-folding ships look primitive. And the Council? Wong asked. They'll learn what happens when humanity is pushed too far, Santos replied, her voice carrying the weight of civilizations. We gave them peace, offered healing to any who needed it. Now they'll see what happens when that peace is broken. Deep in the shipyards, the first of the new vessels was taking shape, sleek, powerful, and equipped with both advanced medical facilities and defensive systems that would rewrite the rules of space combat. Its name was already chosen, the UNS Retribution. But this wasn't about revenge. It was about ensuring that no one would ever again dare to attack a vessel dedicated to saving lives. Humanity had learned its lesson. The galaxy was about to learn theirs. As the new ships took shape, Dr. Chen's voice echoed through the command center one more time. They thought attacking healers made us weak. They're about to learn it only made us stronger. The next phase of human history was beginning. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see what would emerge from humanity's determination to protect those who dedicated their lives to saving others. In orbit, the UNS Retribution's quantum engines hummed to life, its hull gleaming with technology that would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. The message was clear. Never again would a hospital ship face destruction alone. Earth was watching, Earth was ready, and Earth would protect its healers with everything it had. Captain Maya Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the UNS Retribution, watching as her fleet emerged from quantum space. The massive vessel, first of Earth's new Protector-class ships, represented humanity's answer to those who thought medical ships were easy targets. Its silver-white hull housed both state-of-the-art medical facilities and weapons systems that would make a dreadnought envious. Multiple contacts detected. Lieutenant Sarah Kim reported from her tactical station. Confirmed match with the energy signatures from the Mercy's light attack. Maya's dark eyes narrowed. After months of tracking, they'd finally found them. The same ships that had destroyed a vessel dedicated to healing. The attackers had hidden themselves well, establishing a base in an asteroid field deep in unclaimed space, but they hadn't counted on humanity's determination. Status of the medical evacuation ships in the target system? Maya asked, her voice steady despite the tension coursing through the bridge. 3 vessels confirmed, Captain, all matching the profile of civilian medical transports. The enemy fleet appears to be preparing for another attack. Just as their intelligence had suggested. These weren't random pirates. This was a systematic campaign to destroy medical vessels. But this time, they'd found their prey ready and waiting. All hands, battle stations, Maya ordered. Deploy medical response teams to emergency stations. Today we show them the cost of targeting healers. The Retribution's quantum arrays hummed to life, powering systems that had been mere theoretical concepts months ago. In the wake of the Mercy's light's destruction, humanity had channeled its grief and rage into innovation. The result was a ship that could both heal and fight, protected by technologies that merged defensive and medical sciences in ways the galaxy had never seen. Enemy vessels are moving to intercept, Kim reported. They're using the same space-folding technology we saw in the attack footage. Maya allowed herself a grim smile. Just as we expected. Deploy the quantum anchor arrays. Across the fleet, specialized devices activated, creating a web of energy that transformed the very nature of space around them. The enemy vessel's attempt to spacefold was met with resistance. Their signature move suddenly turned against them. They're trapped in normal space, Kim confirmed. Their primary tactical advantage is neutralized. Send the message, Maya ordered. Let's see if they're willing to talk before we show them what this ship can really do. The communication was brief and to the point. This is Captain Maya Rodriguez of the UNS Retribution. We are here to bring justice for the attack on the Mercy's light. Surrender, and you will be treated in accordance with galactic law. Resist, and you will learn why targeting medical ships was your greatest mistake. The response came in the form of weapons fire, exotic energy beams that had torn through the Mercy's light's hull like paper. But the Retribution was different. Its shields, based on medical containment field technology, adapted and absorbed the assault. Returns fire authorized, Maya commanded. Tactical pattern Delta 7. Show them what happens when humanity decides to protect its healers. The Retribution's weapons were unlike anything previously seen in space combat. Beams of concentrated energy, developed from medical scanning technology, penetrated enemy shields with surgical precision. Quantum-tipped missiles, guided by the same AI that assisted in complex surgeries, struck with unerring accuracy. Enemy vessels attempting to regroup, Kim reported. Their shields are failing under our targeted attacks. In the medical bay, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the battle through the ship's feeds. She had insisted on being part of this mission, helping design systems that turned medical knowledge into defensive innovations. The Retribution's ability to target specific systems while leaving crew sections intact was her contribution, a way to disable without unnecessary casualties. Captain Chen's voice came through the bridge comm. We're detecting life signs from all disabled vessels. The precision targeting systems are working perfectly. Maya nodded in satisfaction. This wasn't about revenge. It was about justice, about protecting those who dedicated their lives to saving others. The retribution wasn't just a warship. It was humanity's statement that healing and protection could go hand in hand. As the battle concluded, with enemy vessels disabled and their crews contained, Maya turned to her tactical officer. What did we find in their data cores? Kim's fingers flew over her console, decrypting captured information. Captain, this goes deeper than we thought. These aren't just random attacks. There's evidence of coordination with members of the Galactic Council. Maya's expression hardened. They'd suspected Council involvement, but now they had proof. The attack on the Mercy's Light hadn't just been about destroying a hospital ship. It had been part of a larger conspiracy to maintain control over medical technology throughout the galaxy. Prepare the evidence for transmission to Earth Command, she ordered, and get me a secure channel to Admiral Harper. He needs to see this immediately. As the Retribution secured its prisoners and began processing the captured data, Maya reflected on how far humanity had come. From the ashes of a destroyed hospital ship, they had forged something new. A force that could both heal and protect, that could show the galaxy that compassion and strength were not mutually exclusive. The battle was won, but Maya knew this was just the beginning. The conspiracy reached into the highest levels of galactic governance, and humanity would not rest until every person responsible for attacking healers was brought to justice. In the medical bay, Dr. Chen began treating the captured attackers, demonstrating that even in victory, humanity's commitment to healing remained unshaken. The message was clear: attack our healers, and we will respond with overwhelming force. But we will never abandon our principles. The Retribution's quantum engines powered up, preparing to return to Earth space with their prisoners and evidence. In her captain's chair, Maya Rodriguez sent a final message to the fleet. Remember the Mercy's Light. Remember why we fight. And remember that humanity protects its own. The stars seemed to shine brighter as the fleet departed, leaving behind disabled enemy vessels as a testament to what happens when humanity is pushed too far. The galaxy was about to learn a valuable lesson. Never mistake kindness for weakness, for when humanity's healers are threatened, its warriors respond with unstoppable force. The Galactic Council's Grand Chamber on Centauri Prime fell silent as Admiral Harper strode forward, his footsteps echoing against the polished crystalline floor. Behind him, Dr. Sarah Chen and Captain Maya Rodriguez flanked a holoprojector containing evidence that would shake the foundations of galactic politics. Honorable representatives, Harper began, his voice carrying natural authority. 3 months ago, Earth lost its most advanced medical vessel, the Mercy's Light. Today, we'd bring you proof that this was no random act of piracy, but rather a calculated strike orchestrated by members of this very council. Murmurs of protest arose from the assembled alien delegates, but fell silent as the holoprojector activated. Above their heads, recordings from the Retribution's recent battle played out in crystal clarity. The attackers were using classified space-folding technology. Maya stepped forward, highlighting specific segments of the footage. Technology that only Council security forces have access to. But that's just the beginning. Dr. Chen activated the second part of their presentation, decoded transmissions recovered from the captured vessels. These communications proved direct links between the attackers and 3 members of the Council's inner circle. The chamber erupted in chaos as names and timestamps appeared, showing correspondence between Council members and the attack fleet. Among them was High Commissioner Vextol of the Kraxan Empire, who had been the loudest voice claiming the attack was mere piracy. This is outrageous. Vextol rose from his seat, his scaled skin flushing dark with anger. These humans dare to accuse. We dare to reveal the truth. Harper cut him off, activating another hologram. This data was recovered from the Mercy's Light's final transmission. Dr. Chen, Please explain what they were trying to destroy." Sarah stepped forward, her face composed despite the tension in the room. The Mercy's light wasn't just treating patients. We had developed a universal cellular regeneration technology, a breakthrough that would have made advanced medical care available to every species, regardless of their biology or economic status. The implications hit the chamber like a physical force. Such technology would have revolutionized galactic medicine and destroyed the profitable medical monopolies held by several council races. But that's not all. Maya added, bringing up new data streams. The attack on the Mercy's light was meant to be the first of many. We found plans targeting every major human medical facility in the sector. They wanted to eliminate our medical research capabilities entirely. Harper's voice cut through the growing tumult. The conspiracy goes deeper. High Commissioner Vextal and his associates weren't just trying to protect their medical monopolies. They were weaponizing healing itself. The next hologram showed secret research facilities where captured medical technology was being reverse-engineered into weapons. The Kraxan Empire had taken healing techniques and perverted them into methods of warfare. While Earth worked to heal all species equally, Chen explained, her voice tight with controlled anger. These council members were turning medical breakthroughs into tools of destruction. The attack on the Mercy's light wasn't just about stopping our research. It was about stealing it. From her seat in the chamber, Secretary General Santos watched as the evidence mounted. The council's corruption ran deeper than anyone had suspected, reaching into the very foundations of galactic governance. "We present this evidence not to start a war," Harper continued, "but to prevent one. Earth demands the immediate resignation and arrest of all involved council members. Furthermore, we propose a new Galactic Medical Protection Act, ensuring that healing technology can never again be weaponized or monopolized." The chamber had grown deathly quiet. On the faces of many delegates, shock warred with shame. They had allowed this corruption to fester in their midst, had turned a blind eye while supposed leaders turned healing into harm. "The UNNS Retribution and her sister ships will remain on patrol," Maya announced, "not as weapons of war, but as guardians of healing. Any future attacks on medical vessels, from any species, will be met with immediate response." Dr. Chen stepped forward one final time. "The technology developed on the Mercy's light wasn't lost. We've already begun implementing it in medical centers across Earth space, and we offer it freely to any world that signs the Protection Act, regardless of their species or political affiliations." The impact of this announcement rippled through the chamber. Earth wasn't seeking revenge. They were offering hope, while simultaneously ensuring it could never be twisted into a weapon again. High Commissioner Vextal and his conspirators found themselves surrounded by Council security forces. Their own protection details stepped aside, recognizing that the tide of galactic opinion had turned irrevocably against them. "This session of the Galactic Council is now under emergency protocols," the Grand Arbiter announced. "The evidence presented by Earth's representatives will be examined in full, and all implicated parties will face justice." As the corrupt council members were led away, Harper turned to Dr. Chen and Captain Rodriguez. "Phase 1 is complete. Now comes the hard part, rebuilding trust and ensuring this never happens again." Maya nodded, her hand resting on her weapon. "The retribution stands ready. No more hospital ships will fall while we guard the stars." Sarah's thoughts turned to her colleagues lost on the Mercy's light. "They tried to destroy our ability to heal," she said quietly. "Instead, they only proved that humanity's greatest strength isn't in our weapons or our technology. It's in our determination to protect those who help others." The chamber began to clear as delegates rushed to communicate with their governments. Earth's revelation had changed everything. Not just politically, but fundamentally. The galaxy was entering a new era, one where healing would be protected as fiercely as any military asset. In orbit above Centauri Prime, the Retribution's quantum engines hummed quietly, a reminder to all that humanity had found a way to balance compassion with strength. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if approving of this new path forward. one where healers would never again have to fear becoming targets. 1 year after the attack on the Mercy's Light, the UNS Retribution hung in orbit above New Geneva, Earth's primary medical research center. Through the ship's observation deck, Dr. Sarah Chen watched as vessels from dozens of species arrived for the inauguration of the Galactic Medical Exchange Program. The ships were a stark contrast to the dark vessels that had once threatened everything she held dear. These came in peace, bearing markings of healing and hope, protected by Earth's new defense fleet that ensured no medical vessel would ever again face destruction alone. Quite a view, isn't it? Captain Maya Rodriguez joined her at the window. Hard to believe it's only been a year. Sarah nodded, remembering the friends lost in the attack that had changed everything. The galaxy learned an important lesson. Never mistake healers for easy targets. On the planet below, the massive medical complex sparkled in the sunlight. It housed technologies and treatments that would have seemed impossible just a year ago, developed from the research that the attackers had tried so desperately to destroy. Admiral Harper's transport is approaching, Lieutenant Kim announced over the ship's comm. All honor guards to positions. The Retribution's hangar bay transformed into a ceremonial hall as representatives from every major species gathered. The trial of the corrupt council members had concluded the previous week, with justice served through a combination of imprisonment and permanent removal from positions of power. Admiral Harper strode into the hangar, his uniform pristine, his face bearing the satisfied look of a man who had seen justice done. Behind him walked Secretary General Santos, carrying a data crystal that would change the course of galactic medicine forever. The Galactic Medical Protection Act is now fully ratified, Santos announced to the assembled dignitaries. From this day forward, any attack on a medical vessel is an attack on all civilized species. The response will be decisive. The implied threat wasn't lost on anyone. Earth's new fleet of hospital ships, each as capable of defending itself as the Retribution, had made it clear that healing and protection now went hand in hand. But more importantly, Dr. Chen stepped forward. Today we begin sharing the universal regeneration technology that costs so many lives to protect. Not as a weapon, not as a tool of power, but as a gift to all species. The data crystal Santos held contained the complete research from the Mercy's Light, enhanced by a year of additional development. It would be distributed to medical facilities across the galaxy, protected by encryption that ensured it could only be used for healing. The conspirators thought they could stop progress by destroying one ship. Maya addressed the gathering. Instead, they sparked a revolution in how the galaxy approaches medical care and protection. The hangar's massive doors opened to reveal a new vessel moving into position alongside the Retribution. Its hull gleamed with the same silver-white finish, but its name brought tears to many eyes. UNS Mercy's Legacy, the first of a new class of hospital ships, Harper explained, combining everything we learned from the attack with our commitment to healing. Each one carries both advanced medical facilities and defensive capabilities that make the Retribution look primitive in comparison. Sarah's heart swelled with pride as she watched her design elements incorporated into the new vessel. The legacy of the Mercy's Light lived on, not just in memory, but in every patient who would be treated aboard these new ships. But perhaps the most important change, Santos continued, is in how we approach galactic cooperation. The medical exchange program isn't just about sharing technology. It's about ensuring that no species ever again feels the need to attack healers out of fear or greed. The assembled dignitaries moved to the observation deck, watching as more ships arrived. Each one carried medical personnel who would train in the new technologies, learning not just how to heal, but how to protect that healing. They thought they could break us, Maya said quietly to Sarah. They didn't understand that attacking healers only made humanity stronger, more determined. Sarah nodded, remembering the chaos of the attack, the lives lost, and the phoenix that had risen from those ashes. We showed them something they never expected. That compassion and strength aren't opposites. They're two sides of the same coin. As the ceremony concluded, The Mercy's legacy powered up its engines, preparing for its maiden voyage. Its mission was symbolic. It would retrace the final route of the Mercy's light, but this time as a symbol not of vulnerability, but of protected healing. Admiral Harper gave the final orders. All ships, assume escort positions. Today we show the galaxy that the era of unprotected healers is over. Today we prove that humanity's greatest strength isn't in our weapons or our technology, but in our determination to protect those who help others. The Retribution's quantum engines hummed to life as it took its place alongside the Mercy's legacy. Together, they represented humanity's response to those who had thought medical ships were easy targets, a response that combined healing and protection in a way the galaxy had never seen before. As the fleet prepared to depart, Dr. Chen took one last look at Earth through the observation window. The attackers had tried to destroy humanity's ability to heal the galaxy. Instead, they had only ensured that healing would forever be protected with everything humanity could bring to bear. The stars beckoned, and this time, they'd promised not just adventure and discovery, but a future where healers would never again fear to answer the call of those in need. Humanity had changed the galaxy not through conquest or dominance, but through the simple, unshakable determination to protect those who dedicated their lives to saving others. The legacy of the Mercy's light would live on, not in vengeance or retribution, but in a galaxy where healing was protected as fiercely as any military asset. And that, perhaps, was the greatest victory of all.